how this is going to work, I want to give you a couple directions and I'm going to ask for you to repeat them back. Those of you who have your books, you will put your book away when you go to the lab table. When are you putting your book away? Awesome. Second, if you remember, we wrote a certain message right here. What did we write? Some of you went like, renegade. Great Gatsby, what'd you put? Get her done. Get her done. So you wrote get her done next to 1, 2, and 3. How many of you have your testable question with a question mark at the end? Oh.
Iris.
Excellent. Okay, put your hand down and track me again. So now where you're moving into is you need your variables. A lot of you started with your independent and dependent, and I can look around and spot check and see that quite a few of you still need to put your constants and think about what possibly your control group could be if you're doing that type of experiment. You were my dream team. You were my brag group with the other 3 sections. It really annoyed them, and they asked if I would just sit a play out of complimenting you guys for it. And what I was telling them is, there are 4 different groups in here, and there were 2 or 3 different experiments. What was interesting, as the day went on, the creativity got less. And I had one class where everybody's testing the same thing. It was like they all were quiet and they waited for one person to talk, and they're like, oh yeah, let's take their idea. But you guys had really creative thoughts, and so when you head over to your lab stations for the same ones, all your materials are there. Hopefully, other students didn't steal the dropper. If so, I can replace it for you. Will you please take a look at part 4? Lock in some participation. Part 4 is split into what 2 parts? Char?
Materials and procedures.
Materials and procedures. So if you take a look at materials, is there a chance that you might not use all 7 materials?
Yes.
Yeah, why would you not use all 7 materials? Lock in participation. JP?
So that because not all experiments need them.
Exactly. Your group might be designing a completely different experiment than Dee's group. So with that being said, you might not use all those materials, but then look into your procedure as you go to develop this. Do your best to be specific, but just think about when we were evaluating valid experiments, remember how you kind of gave general procedure overviews? That's okay for today. Okay? Any questions about parts 3 and 4? Somebody please raise their hand and ask me, when do you get to actually do the experiment? Nice. I've got 7 people ready to ask me. I have 8 people ready to ask me. Dean, do you have a question?
Yeah, when do we get to do the actual experiment?
You get to do the actual experiment when you have filled out your materials and your procedure and you let me spot check them. I need to ensure the fact that you didn't write step 6, blow things up. If I approve it and you've written that in there, we're out of luck. One year I had a student try to be really sneaky and they wrote in, eat one of Mrs. Bam's Snickers. No, like legit, that's what they actually wrote down in the procedure. I had to love it because I approved it. So please be careful, let me spot check it. Okay. Take a preview, do the Butler Bulldog preview, look at the back page.